welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Bavika, and it's been about a month since the new season for Fate the Winx Saga has released, and we're going to talk about it today. I already did a video on the first season when it first released on Netflix, so I'll tag it here if you haven't seen it already. But yeah, I decided that I wanted to talk about season 2. So I watched it, I rewatched season 2, and then I watched the entire series all together to get like a feel for like the first season and second season like tied together as like a cohesive story. Um so yeah. Also, just so you know, there are going to be spoilers in this video. So if you haven't seen season 2 or you're not into spoilers, you've been warned. We're going to talk about it in detail. Also, while we're here, if you could hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified of all new videos once I get them posted, I would appreciate it. I'm trying to do more videos like this where I talk about TV shows, movies, books, and a little bit of everything. So yeah, I would really appreciate it if you hit that little button. But yeah, anyways, let's get right into it. So based on what I saw in the second season and comparing it to the first, there's definitely a difference in the way that the writers, production, Netflix like approached the show, because we can see it looked like that they listened to the comments and like what people were saying about this live action version of the Winx Club, and they made some changes and took that into account. So one thing that we can see for sure is that they introduced Flora. Now, not sure if Flora was going to come into season 2, like they had that pre-planned, or that was something that was decided on the fact that people were, upset about the fact that, there was no Flora, there was no Techna, and that they were changing a bunch of stuff. Which, just like a little side note there, I think we're all going to have to accept the fact that this show is just an inspiration, or I'm sorry, the fact that they took the original show and Winx Club is just the inspiration to this, and it's not a direct live action version, that they're making it their own, and like it's just a reference of the universe and of the powers and stuff, but they're completely making it the show its own thing away from the cartoon. So yeah, so they introduced Flora, and Flora is the cousin of Tara. And then I think another thing that they did take into account is the coloring choices of what the girls wear. Because if you saw in the season 1, Bloom wore a lot of reds and stuff. My assumption on her wearing red is the fact that she has red hair. She has fire. She's a fire fairy, so like red. So in season 2, she definitely wears a lot more blues, more of what is in line with what the girls wear in the cartoon. So I think that it's great that they tweaked some things here and there in the show to kind of link it more and actually listen to viewers' comments. So referencing the fact that, I said that this is more of like an inspiration show rather than a direct live action show from the Winx Club, is I actually appreciate the fact that they, kind of sprinkle in a little bit of references to the cartoon, because it doesn't feel like there's a direct link, but then you have like these moments that kind of are just like, oh yeah, this is part of the cartoon, or it happened in the cartoon in some form of way. For example, when Rosalind was trying to take Bloom's powers and she like froze her.
I can still channel the dragon flame from you.
Like, I feel like that was a direct link to how in season 1 of the Winx Club, how Bloom was frozen, and that's how like the Trix stole her powers. So like that was kind of like a little cool, like a little connect there. Another one that I'm noticing, at least with rewatching it, is the fact that like the bad guy, Sebastian, who is a blood witch, his last name is Valtor, who was the season 3 villain of the Winx Club. So it's like they're giving us something, but then they're also like changing it and transforming it. And it's nice because then you're just like, oh, nostalgic, like that's where it is, that's how it links. But then you're just like, but I just want a little bit more, like bring me some more of like what was in the original show into this. Oh, but I think it's done in a way that kind of like is like, okay, we can see where the link is. Because also the Blood Witches, at least my interpretation of them, are the same as who Valtor is as a bad guy in the cartoon, because he's able to leave his, what was it called? His Valtor mark, I think that's what it was called, on people in the show, and like he was able to control them, and like they turned into like weird zombie creature things, or like they listened to, like they just were basically under his power. And I guess in a way you could see that in like how the Blood Witches operate. Like they're able to control people's movements and like what people say. So it's not just one person who has this power, but he's like the head of the Blood Witches. So then like everyone has this power. Are we seeing a connection there, or is that just me? But either way, they definitely, you know, are, I would like to think that they're sprinkling that in there. One thing that I really enjoyed about this season was seeing the connection between Riven and Musa like start to grow. Riven and Musa are having their moment, which I am loving. Yeah, just seeing that just naturally happen. Like it wasn't forced. They just kind of fell into like a space together.
You have no idea how hard it's been. My whole life,
Of course, I don't. Nobody does. Your life is your life.
He was helping her, you know, learn how to fight physically, like defend herself, and she just needed an outlet that wasn't her powers, since she has like that negative relationship with them. So that was really nice to see, and I really hope that they expand on it more in the next season, if there is a next season. So another thing that I really enjoyed and liked in the show was Tara kind of realizing and expressing who she truly is in regards to like coming out, and like that little inner turmoil that she's able to finally like get off of her chest. But the thing that I liked about it was in that moment when she's telling everyone after she's told Flora, the fact that Stella is the one who is just like, wait, we need to process this moment, like we need to actually acknowledge it, and like was the first person to hug her.
Tara.
Like that just like warmed my heart. Like that was just a sweet moment, because I think Stella in this show has such a back and forth. Like she's so likable at some points and then like dislikable at others. She has the most like back and forth of how she treats people, how she speaks to them, but also cares about them. So it was such a sweet moment to see that, to like genuinely know that Stella does care. So even though there were a bunch of good moments like in the show, there are certain things that I just thought like it still needed to be better. I do think that there's a lack of development that happens in the show because of how short the seasons are. I think this one was what, like 6 or 7 episodes, and I don't think that that's enough time. Even if they are an hour long, 50 minutes long, it's still not enough time to develop everything, to really resonate with the characters, get the story like fixated. Like it still seems rushed. I feel like it would be better if there was more episodes to allow the time to really get into it and develop like the relationships and the characters and make things more grounded, so when something does happen, it's more of an impact as a viewer. So like one thing I think that definitely needed developed was Sky and Andreas'S relationship, because you find out at the end of season 1 that his dad is actually alive, that Saul didn't kill him, and so now Andreas is back. Rosalind has put Silva in jail, and Sky and Andreas have like this very tense, almost like dislike for each other. Sky is upset that his father chose to not be there and stay away because of an order, and he's mad at the fact that Silva lied and was the one that actually like killed him even though he didn't die. And it's just like, you have the, like, it's not really explained why Andreas is so hard on Sky and why, like, he's not happy to see his son, if that makes sense. Like, Sky and Bloom are in his childhood home and Andreas is there trying to look for Silva, and then they burn the house. But before he does that, he takes a picture of, I think it's him and baby Sky, or just baby Sky, I can't remember. But he takes the picture and then it's kind of just forgotten about, and like there's no development of a relationship between them, and you're kind of led to think, oh, Andreas is just an asshole who like doesn't care about his kid, but he is so attached to Beatrix and like refers to her as like a daughter to him, and like is so sweet and so caring and nurturing to her. So it's like I wish that there was that development before Andreas died, because then you're still left with the fact that Sky loses his father and didn't really have a relationship with him. And then there are other things that like really could have been expanded on, like they're looking for Farah, who, you know, we saw get killed by Rosalind, and then she's brought back for like 2.5 seconds.
Hello, Bloom.
Like the whole like her whole thing about like being able to transform is like, oh, it's always been there, like it's not this ancient like secret magic, like you should, like everyone's able to do it because you just have to accept your emotions. And it's like that's really what you brought her back to say for like 2.5 seconds, literally, because all she does is just turn into dust. What was the point? Like, another thing that I think that they need to work on and develop, and that it just was not it, was like the fight scenes. I don't know who said that that looked cool, or that was it, or that was just epic, that was just like the start, and it was not. Like, do we see this? Like, what is this? Like, you're literally running 2 feet and then like this epic like drawback, and then I don't know what the energy was, what like it, that was just not it. It also happened at the same time when it was Musa and Flora, and they were fighting the Blood Witches. And Musa was having her moment, and I'm like, girl, you can have your moment. Like, she needed her moment to show like what she learned in regards to like the specialist training and stuff, like with Riven. But if we think about it logically, she is physically fighting a Blood Witch. Blood Witch, who I'm assuming knows how to use their powers, could have just easily just did their thing and stopped her. But also, she's fighting another Blood Witch, and another Blood Witch has a hold of Flora.
Musa.
Okay.
And that Blood Witch is not doing anything to help their friend, just holding on. Like, it's just like little things about that are just like, yeah, and then you see it and you're just like, okay, sure, like let's just move on, because it's kind of just a little bit cringe. And I feel really mean for saying that, but like sometimes it's just not it. It's not it. Like, you see the potential, because you see it in other scenes where they're fighting and like everyone's like really going at it, and then like these moments that are supposed to be like the moment are not the moment. Let's talk about this transformation. So we finally see the big transformation for Stella. Yeah, Stella, Aisha, and Tara. And it's supposed to be like this grand moment. It just was not it at the same time. I don't know if it's like the music choice, the graphics, the reaction, like the way that it all happened. But it just was not as, it wasn't powerful in my opinion as what that moment should be. It was just kind of like, first of all, I think it was like the music choice, not gonna lie. I didn't like it. Even when I was watching Bloom's transformation, like the music choice and like how they did it just could be better. Could be better. Hope it's better in the future. The future season, if there is one, for everyone else's transformation, because like that's a moment. That is a pure epic moment that needs to be like reflected as so. So that's my gripe about the transformations. Yeah. So yeah, that was my thoughts and opinions on season 2 of Fate the Winx Saga. I'd love to know what you thought, if you've seen it, like what you thought season 2, like comparatively, anything that you'd like to say about it. I'd love to know your opinions on, and I'll definitely try to reply to as many comments as I can, because I love to discuss this kinds of things and hear everyone's opinions. But yeah, and if you could like this video and give it a thumbs up as well, I'd appreciate it. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified of all new videos once I get them posted. Thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you at the next one. Bye.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time.